When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but do not ever quit. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the clouds of doubt.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another exciting edition of your favorite program, Let's Talk. Let's stop playing around. This has to be your favorite program, Let's Talk. Of course, I have to be your favorite host, Malik. Of course, without doubt, on your favorite channel, Huda TV. And I'm thinking about changing the name of this program to Real Talk because we're talking about some really interesting topics with some really interesting guests. And listen up, you guys at home, and ladies as well. It's a special episode. I got a brand new suit. My wife bought me this brand new suit. I even brushed my teeth, so it has to be a special episode. And I also want to mention today, you guys, I know we don't celebrate birthdays, but I did want to mention, actually, by the grace of Allah, today is my birthday, and you wouldn't believe how old I am. I actually turned 30 years old, so we want to say alhamdulillah for that, and we're very thankful for another happy year on the earth. Now, you guys, we're still committed to bringing you the best of the best when it comes to guests, and today is no different. We have a European activist all the way here from Berlin, Germany. And I thought this was a special time and a special person and a unique individual who has been well-traveled, speaks many languages. And I wanted to talk about a serious topic which I think has been addressed in the media in the wrong way. I want to talk about tolerance. I think it's quite ironic these days that we hear the Western world lecturing Islam and Muslims about being tolerant and to accept people from other religions and cultures. But I think actually, if we compare track records, I think we have the better track record. Joining me, of course, is our European activist, Mr. Samir. Mr. Samir, my Arabic is very bad and I can't pronounce your last name.
My name is Samir Khalafawy, yes.
Thank you very much, Samir. No, don't blame me. Let's blame my Arabic teacher, inshallah.
No fun.
But Samir, I'm very happy to have you. I think you're a very unique and interesting character. And
My pleasure.
How many languages do you speak, Samir?
I speak 4 languages, 3 of them properly, and French is a little. I speak Arabic, English, German. Arabic and German are mother tongue for me. The French is just, the basics.
Oh, okay. So I think you have a unique perspective that we can look at. You can see Islam from a more, I guess, traditional Middle Eastern conservative perspective, and also from the Western perspective. So I look forward to picking your brain and talking with you about that.
Sure, sure. It is really interesting to have those different perspectives and dealing with Islam in a different way. Because on one hand, alhamdulillah, I've been brought up as a Muslim, and I learned Islam and the basics of Islam, Quran and Sunnah. And I start dealing with Islam in a logic and interactive way in the light of modern societies and modern, science.
Right.
So it's alhamdulillah, it's giving you strength, really strength of iman.
Right.
If you look at it in these different perspectives and see how rich this, Islamic culture is.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah. And if we talk, for example, about this topic of tolerance. Actually, I was invited. I was in England doing my master's degree, and I was doing attending the circles and attending the talks, etc. And one day there was a talk. I was going to this talk, and they told me, "Oh, brother, the person coming giving the talk didn't come."
Right.
I said, "So what will you do?" He said, "Oh, brother Samir, you give it a talk."
MashaAllah, very good.
Yeah, subhanAllah. I told them, I didn't prepare anything. He said, "Okay, brother, you have some knowledge. Inshallah. Go ahead. Okay, I said, okay. The topic was about why Islam is spreading so fast in the West. This was the topic.
This was the topic.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. So I started talking, and alhamdulillah, I have, some experience really with explaining things about Islam in Germany, in England, etc. So I started, speaking about the angles of Islam. That Islam, on one hand, is dealing with the mind.
Right.
Every religion has its special characteristic.
Right.
Like the Jewish religion had mainly and law. It was, you know, like the Torah.
Just law.
Mainly law. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, etc.
Right.
Because the people of that time needed a strong law to govern their affairs.
Okay.
When the Christianity came, the Bible came with a lot of love. Love your neighbor like yourself, and if someone beats you on the right, give him the left, etc. So it was mainly love and spirituality.
The other extreme.
Yeah, the other extreme. Islam came with the balance.
MashaAllah.
The balance between, we have the law, we have the spirituality, and at the same time we are talking to the mind.
Exactly, that's an excellent point.
Yeah, and the main character of Islam, as much as I see, is knowledge, logic, science. The first word revealed, Iqra, read.
Right,
because this is the character of this time.
Yeah, of course, excellent.
And you know, like if we look at that, you know, like the first Muslims, to whom was the Islam sent? It was sent to very primitive people. The Arabic Peninsula was, you know, those
underdeveloped.
Underdeveloped.
If not developed at all, we could say.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, there was no meaning of tolerance. There was no meaning of, you know, like humanity. They were so primitive, like, you know, sorry, less than animals.
Yeah, with all due respect, there was a great civilization in Rome, in exactly, Persia, in Greece. Exactly. But we could say the Arabs in the middle there in the Gulf were not developed culturally.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
okay.
when Islam came, they developed in so little time to the highest culture on earth. They became much higher than the Roman and Persian Empire, and even conquered them.
Yes,
because of those principles.
Right.
Because they loved each other. Because they really stuck to the principles that God gave them.
SubhanAllah.
And SubhanAllah, this shows how strong this Islamic culture is and how its effect is. So, if, you know, many people, you know, like at that time, were attacking Islam because they were afraid of its dominance. The idol worshippers, the unbelievers, came to the Prophet ﷺ and offered him everything. They told him, if you want to be king over us, we'll make you king of all of us. If you want money, we'll gather to you so much money, whatever you need. If you want to marry the most beautiful woman, we'll get you the most beautiful woman to marry.
Anything a man could want.
Anything a man could want. But he said, oh, my uncle, his uncle was delivering the message. Oh, my uncle, if they put the sun in my right hand and the moon in my left hand to leave this issue, I won't leave it until I die, until Allah, you know, like show it up, or that I die without it. SubhanAllah. So this, you know, like insistence and this belief strengthen Islam. And still this tolerance, we are speaking about tolerance. The Prophet ﷺ, you know, was so tolerant with people, whether the believers or non-believers.
And this is the point we want to discuss today, right?
I'll give you, for example, one example of the tolerance of the Prophet. It was known that there is a Jewish neighbor of the Prophet who was trying to harm him and, you know, give him hard time.
Okay.
So every day he was giving, you know, taking his garbage and putting it in front of the door of the Prophet. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Every day. And once this Jewish man was ill, the Prophet ﷺ went to him and was nice to him and asked, and told him, really, you know, for not embarrassing him, there were other people present. He told him, I didn't find that present that you were leaving in front of my doorstep, so I came to ask. They told me that you are ill, so I had to come and
he even used the word, he said present, not garbage.
Exactly. You know
why would he say that?
Because of tolerance, because he didn't want to embarrass him.
I see. Okay.
You know that when people are present, he came with the best gesture. He was so nice to the people, so tolerant even with the people who were harming him and giving him hard time.
This is a lesson for all of us today, Muslims and non-Muslims. It's a beautiful lesson. Yeah.
Exactly. When Prophet ﷺ returned to Mecca with a big army, 10,000 people, and you know the Meccan people, you know, harmed him, killed his uncle, killed his followers, did a lot of harm to him.
Yeah, of course.
And still, you know, he forgave them all.
Yeah.
He forgave them.
Of course.
Because
This is a fact that people don't mention in history. He could have went there and killed everybody, slaughtered everybody, but he opened the doors of mercy for everyone. Yeah.
People say that Islam was spread by the sword. Where?
Yeah.
How come?
When the Allies bombed Dresden, they carpet bombed it. When the Allies bombed Iraq, they carpet bombed. When they bombed Libya, but look at this. This man had the power now to do these things, but he didn't do it.
Exactly.
Because he was
tolerant.
This is our tolerance.
Open-minded. He was, forgiving indefinitely. You know, he went to invite some people to Islam, and they were so harsh with him. They sent their boys and their slaves, beating him and throwing him with stones, until, he was, like all full of blood. He was returning to Mecca really in a very bad condition. Allah sent him an angel. He told him, I am the angel of the mountains. Allah told me, if you order me to break those mountains above those people, I will do. He said, no, I have hope that one day some people of their offsprings will be believing and carrying this religion.
Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Samir. I love that story, because now we hear a lot of people make dua, Allah destroy them. But look at the wisdom of the Prophet. He said, give me the Muslims from their offspring. Before we go any further with that story, I want to go to our studio audience. I forgot about you guys in the beginning. I want you guys to tell me your name, where you're from, and what do you think, is Islam a tolerant religion in your opinion? Go ahead, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, brother.
My name is Sulaiman Abubakar Musa. I study medicine in Kharkiv National Medical University.
Where do you study medicine?
Kharkiv National Medical University. It's in Ukraine.
In Ukraine, okay.
Yeah, I'm just in Egypt to learn Arabic and Quran.
Okay, and you're from originally where?
Nigeria.
Do you speak Hausa or Fulani or?
All of them.
I speak a little Hausa. Yeah, good though.
Lafia.
Is Islam tolerant in your opinion? Are Muslims tolerant?
Comparing it to what the Westerners and what the public opinion, most people will tell you Islam is like a religion of terrorism, but actually when you move into it, it's not that way.
Right.
It's preached in the Quran that you should always forgive your neighbor, even your neighbor or your guest who is a Christian. Always forgive him. Try and talk to him in a calm manner and all. It's even seen in an American professor, Yusuf Estes.
Right.
He was a Catholic before he turned into Islam. He hated Islam to the extent he hated having any business association with Muslims. But when he got to know the religion, he was so surprised. He was like, is this what they're portraying to us? As in, if that's what they're really telling us, it's wrong. When he got to see the religion, he saw it was a religion of love, faith, spirituality, like you said, and it comprises everything. So you can't judge a book by its cover, like they usually say. You can't just say Islam is a religion of terrorism until you go into the religion and see. You don't judge Islam by what the Muslims do. You judge what the Muslims do. You judge what the Muslims do by Islam.
Okay,
it's not the other way around. So seeing what Muslims do, you can't just judge them and say Islam is a bad religion and this and stuff like that. So, on my opinion, and I think other learned people, Islam is a very tolerant religion.
Thank you, Brother Sulaiman. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, brother.
My name is Muhammad Zain. I'm in Al-Azhar University, Faculty of Language and Translation, Department of Islamic Studies, the third year. Okay.
When you graduate, inshallah, we would like to have you as a guest on Let's Talk.
Thank you. I hope so.
Excellent.
Okay. Actually, Islam is the religion of peace, of tolerance, of love, and everything that if Islam doesn't have love, doesn't have tolerance, you cannot find these followers, this numerous and very large numbers of Muslims today. You cannot find any person adhere to Islam. Of course. But Islam is the religion of tolerance. Okay. Some people may say that Islam is a religion of terrorism, and some people, some people also say that Islam is a religion that cut the woman right, and hope so that's everything that I want to
People say that, but we know that's not true.
Okay.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, brother.
My name is Muhammad Ali. I'm a student at Al-Azhar University, Sharia and Law English Department. I'm Egyptian. I think this negative stereotype about Islam is coming from media, and it's our role to figure out the right picture about Islam, because when we talk with foreign and tell them that conflict doesn't have to be negative, we can learn and grow from it. If we have a safe place to talk, they change their mind about Islam. So it's our role to clear this negative picture, and may Allah reward you and all Muslim for that.
Thank you
Thanks.
very much, thank you for your time. Who's this handsome young man in the back? What's your name, brother? Where are you from?
My name is Sharif Ahmed. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Cairo.
MashaAllah.
I received a Bachelor of German and Spanish.
Oh, wow, you speak German?
Yeah, I
Oh, you
speak
can ask him,
German.
if you'd like to ask Mr. Samir in German, go ahead. We'll put subtitles on the bottom of the screen.
Okay, if you like, I can speak.
No, I'll just
German.
go ahead.
Okay. So we are talking about tolerance in Islam, and I'd like to focus on the aspect of our law, of Islamic law. Many of people might hint to that the Islamic law lack of tolerance, but
Right.
they don't try to search for the real reasons of this law. This law is full of tolerance. Cutting hands or even punishing others for their crimes. We are trying to save the society from all evils.
I
Okay?
agree with you. I think the Western law protects the criminal from the
Yeah.
society, but this is, you know,
Yeah,
it should be the reverse, yeah.
Yeah, for instance, when I went or I go to with my child to a doctor, and doctor prevent him from eating chocolates. Okay?
Okay.
The child might not know either this chocolates might harm him or not.
Right, right.
Okay? But after time, he'll be healthy. That's what I'm talking about.
Right, excellent point. Thank you, Brother Sharif. Thank you
Okay.
so much, inshallah.
Thanks a lot.
Excellent. What's your name, brother? Where are you from?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is
Alaikum.
Abu Bakr Sunusi Bello. I came from Nigeria,
MashaAllah. Where are you from in Nigeria? What part?
from Kaduna.
Oh, Kaduna. Okay,
Yeah.
excellent, inshallah.
Yes, I'm studying in Al-Azhar College of Quranic Science.
Oh, excellent. Okay, thank you for
Yeah.
coming, brother. Do you feel Islam is a tolerant religion?
Yes, Islam is the best religion I think so far, because I never see any Islamic scholar trying to criticize any other person.
Excellent point. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's true.
Yeah.
And we have to be tolerant. That's true. I agree. I think Islam is a very tolerant religion. Go ahead, brother. What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Nabil Adrini.
Excellent.
I'm agricultural engineer and microbiologist.
MashaAllah.
I'm from Egypt.
Excellent.
Yeah,
If we do a show on microbiology, can you be our guest?
I would be honored.
Inshallah.
I would be
That's a
honored,
good topic
yeah.
we can talk about next time, inshallah.
Okay.
Is Islam a tolerant religion in your opinion?
Of course, without doubt, it's
Without doubt.
it's the most. It's a religion.
Right.
It's a religion. It's tolerant to others. It's meaning peace of love and law, and it's life. Islam, it's life.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Nabil. Thank you very much. You guys stay tuned for more Let's Talk. It's exciting. It's fun. You don't want to miss it. So we'll be right back after this break, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
إذا دكت الأرض دكا
Do you want to learn how to recite the Quran? Do you want to read Islamic books in Arabic? You may enroll in a small group.
العسل من السوق اشترى نعم اشترى
A private lesson.
من مثلها في فضلها
من مثلها في فضلها
or at your own pace to fit your schedule.
هل أنت طالب في المعهد؟
Courses for sisters with female instructors. We're bringing you the latest software technology, professional instructors, and a state-of-the-art classroom to the comfort of your home. Enroll now in Huda Academy. Huda Academy, your gateway to authentic Islamic knowledge.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Let's Talk. We're still bringing you the best of the best when it comes to guests, like I said before. And today's no different, of course. We have Brother Samir, a European activist, all the way here from Berlin. and we're talking about tolerance in Islam, and I thought it'd be nice to have a Western perspective and a more traditional conservative Middle Eastern perspective, and Brother Samir has both of those, mashallah. And we also have another German here, mashallah, a revert from Islam. You've seen him on Let's Talk before. We had a lot of wonderful and exciting episodes with him. He's a revert from Germany, Brother Tahir Borian. Thank you, Brother Tahir. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
It's been a while since you've been on Let's Talk. Now we got new chairs, man. How do you like it?
MashaAllah, very nice.
More comfortable than
Very
before, right?
Oh, more comfortable. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Tabarakallah.
So I know you guys are both German, but I'd like to conduct this episode in English. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I prefer German, but
I know Brother Sharif speaks German in the studio audience as well, but we're going to keep it English for now, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So I was asking Brother Samir, and I want to get Tahir's thoughts on this as well. We're talking about tolerance in Islam, and I think it's nice to have a Western perspective. These days, are Muslims, are we as Muslims tolerant, and do we have a lot of reason not to be tolerant considering the political situation against Muslims?
Okay. Let's say that nowadays, unfortunately, not many Muslims are practicing their religion properly as they should be. And this has many, many backgrounds. One of them is like the political issues, the economic issues that, like influence the Muslims as societies, whether in Muslim countries or non-Muslim countries. But still, the people, who are really practicing Islam properly, know that this is the origins of this religion is based on tolerance and open-mindedness. Why? Even from the time of Abraham, we have to understand that this religion is not a new religion. This is the Abrahamic religion. Abraham is the first one who called us as Muslims, because although this monotheistic religion started with Adam, peace upon him.
It's one religion. It's the same
one religion.
Yeah.
And there is a nice story about Abraham, peace upon him, alayhi salam. He was, he didn't like to eat alone at all. Whenever he wanted to eat, he had to have some company. So once he was alone at home, so he went out on the street to search for someone to eat with him. So he found this poor man. He told him, come along, come eat. He said, yeah, I would like to eat, come. He came, so he said, say Bismillah, in the name of Allah. He said, I don't believe in Allah. He said, say Bismillah. I said, I won't say Bismillah because I don't believe in Allah.
Right,
he said, okay, no, either you say Bismillah or you can't eat with me. So he went, okay, I'll go. So he didn't, he went, and so Allah, criticized Sayyidina Ibrahim. He told him, I was feeding this man for 40 years now, although he didn't believe in me. And you were not able to be patient enough to give him one meal, tolerating his non-believing.
Yeah, that's it.
SubhanAllah. So Sayyidina Ibrahim ran behind him and tell him, come. Eat, whether you believe or not, come and eat. The man was, surprised. What happened? He said, my Lord criticized me for what I did. I'm really sorry about this. He told me that he was feeding you for 40 years, and I was not able to be patient enough for one meal to give you. He said, oh, is this your Lord? Is this Lord so generous and so nice? This is a Lord, deserving to be worshipped. I will believe in this.
SubhanAllah, that's excellent. Thank you for sharing that beautiful story. That's the first time I've actually heard that.
Yeah,
it's
so
very touching.
This man started believing because of this tolerance.
Because of the tolerance, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Sim. That's very nice. Brother Tahir, you are originally from Germany. You live now in the Middle East. You've had a taste of both worlds. What society is more tolerant of people of different ethnic groups and religions? Is it the Middle East, people in the Middle East, or do you think it's people in Germany, in your native country?
Yes, I think it's the Middle East. They are more tolerant from if you see the society.
Why do you say that?
For myself, I prefer to live here in Egypt because, because of this values what you don't see sometimes in Germany, in Europe. You feel the people are, let's say, colder. Sometimes I say they are colder because of the weather or something.
Right.
But sure, this behavior from the roots, it comes from Islam.
Right.
Maybe you find some intolerance also here, or you find some people are thieves or something like this, ignorance
well,
or something like this.
Of course, everywhere. Right.
But this comes surely not from Islam. Islam is teaching only good. So
right, this is from our own.
Alhamdulillah,
actions.
and now we see also in this Arab Spring now that most of the people, they like Islam. Their roots are Islamic.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
So they choose the Islamic parties. And
that's good,
therefore, for myself and for my living, for my children, for my family, I prefer that they grow up here and in the let's say it's not an Islamic society.
It's
better still not Islamic, because there are many things what we don't have in Islam, what shouldn't be.
Right.
When we see it shouldn't be like. For example, sometimes in the night I cannot sleep because they play music until 2,
so
3
we could
o'clock.
Say, I agree. So we could say it's not perfect, but it's still better than maybe in your opinion.
What I see now that there are, alhamdulillah, there are people, they want to have it perfect. They want to have the Sharia. They want to have Islamic laws. With Islamic law, you don't have this music in the night, and you don't have, like the brother said before from the audience, that there is like, there is tolerance, but there is also cutting hands, which is protecting the society.
Yeah, because I think the Western law, we protect the criminal from the society, not the society from the criminal. Yeah. I want you guys to hold your thoughts for 1 second. I want you guys in the studio audience also to hold the mic for 1 second. I want us to check out a report we put together about Islamic history and tolerance throughout Islamic times and Ottoman history and Al-Andalus as well. So check out this report, and we'll be right back, inshallah.
Let's talk about tolerance. Jews built a thriving society alongside Muslims, centered in Cordoba. Spain, or Al-Andalus, widely accepted to have been more advanced than any civilization in Europe at that time. Jews were able to coexist peacefully with their Muslim neighbors. In fact, the era of Muslim rule in Spain between the 8th and 11th Christian centuries was considered the golden age for Spanish Jewry. Jewish intellectual and spiritual life flourished, and many Jews served in the courts. Jewish economic expansion was unparalleled. In Toledo, Jews were involved in translating Arabic text to the Romance languages, as well as translating Greek and Hebrew texts into Arabic. Jews also contributed to botany, geography, medicine, mathematics, and poetry, all under Muslim rule. A number of well-known Jewish physicians practiced during this period, including Hasdai ibn Shabrut, who was a doctor for the Caliph between 915 and 970 Christian era. Jews lived separately in el-Jamas, or Jewish quarters. They were given administrative control over their communities and managed their own communal affairs. Jews had their own court system, known as the Beit Din. Rabbis served as judges and rendered legal opinions. Islamic culture also influenced the Jews. For example, Arabic was used for prayers rather than Hebrew or Spanish. Before entering their synagogues, Jews washed their hands and feet, which is a practice done before entering a mosque. This is in far contrast to how the Jews fared under Christian rule in Spain. By the mid-13th Christian century, the Christians controlled most of Spain and increasingly forced Jews to convert to Christianity. Those who converted became known as Moranos, or New Christians. They also became known as crypto-Jews because they practiced their religion in secret. New Christians were often tortured or killed during the 15th Christian century. After the capture of Granada from Muslim forces, Father Torquemada convinced King Ferdinand that the Jewish community was expendable. In 1492, they ordered that all Jews who refused to convert to Christianity be expelled from Spain. The Jews were given 4 months to leave Spain and were forced to sell their houses and businesses at low prices. It is estimated that 100,000 Jews left Spain at this time. A large number of these Jews settled in North Africa and in the Ottoman Empire, where they once again enjoyed prosperity under Muslim rule.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Let's Talk. Of course, it's your favorite program on your favorite channel, Huda TV. I hope you enjoyed that report about tolerance in the history of Islam. Brother Tahir, Brother Samir, What do you guys think? I know in the West now we promote this multiculturalism, and they lecture us, I guess, about accepting people from other religious backgrounds and races and faiths. But it seems like, according to that report, that we have a lot of Ottoman history, Islamic history in Spain that says that maybe the Muslims actually have a better track record in this regard. Brother Tahir, can you give me your comment, and also afterwards, Brother Samir?
Actually, what I want to mention is, because we heard now a lot of stuff about tolerance and how tolerant is Islam. Sure, Islam is tolerant, but I think it's until a certain borders. Yeah. We cannot say, and this was, for example, one of the many reasons what I had why I entered Islam, alhamdulillah, why I became Muslim, is also because I have the right sometimes to be not tolerant.
Yeah, okay.
In Islam, you have the right. And I was raised up in Germany, but I have a Polish background.
Oh, many Germans like this, I think. Many Germans have a Polish background, I've come to find. With Polish names. But anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so I have like, I was raised up a little bit Catholic, Catholicism and so on. So there's like in the Christianity, like we said, if you hit me here, so I give you the other side, hit me. But it's not like this in Islam. This was one reason for me also. And this is also like not according the human nature.
Right.
And if someone hits you here, I think not many people will give them another side.
Yeah,
so you will try to hit him back.
Or at least defend yourself.
Defend yourself, right?
Yeah.
So I found this in Islam, that I have the right to follow my nature, and Islam is the religion of nature.
Right.
You have the right, and you can't say, I forgive you, okay, I forgive you, and you hit me now, okay, because of Islam, and Islam is a tolerant religion, and I will not hit you back, and so on, and but you have the right to hit him back, and to hit him the same force as he hit you. So this is also one reason, and also the tolerance is until some borders, because Brother Samir said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he entered Mecca and he opened Mecca, he forgave everybody. But there was an exception. There was a blacklist, right? There was a blacklist of 8 people, I think, 4 men and 3 women, and or 5 men and 3 women, like this.
Okay.
Which were like they were on the blacklist and they had to be killed.
Right. So you're saying it gives you guidelines. We don't want to be extremists in either way. We want to be in the middle way. So you don't want to be so tolerant, like you're like in America, we have like these hippies that's love and peace. That's not Islam either. But at the same time, it's not super strict and conservative at the same time.
And we see the many wars what Rasulullah fought, because we will tell now the European, look, the Islam is very tolerant. There's also only peace and like Christianity, but it isn't like this in Islam. We have also, Rasulullah fought in about 20 wars. And he was living 23 years long, right? So the first 10 years in Mecca, he didn't fight at all. He was like in the minority. Then he went to Medina, and in this 13 years, he made 20 wars against the Quraysh, against the Jews, against the Romans. So it's not only love and tolerance. It's also like you have the right to fight back, and you have the right to be intolerant, and sometimes you have to be intolerant. You have to be to take the other side of
approaches.
Islam.
Okay, excellent comment. Can I get your comment, Brother Samir? Because he's just saying, look, it is tolerant, but it gives us parameters and limits. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, Brother Samir.
In Islam, mashallah, the brother said there is a balance between tolerance and justice. Tolerance and justice. Okay, like for example, like the brother said, this is actually a dilemma in Christianity, that there is in the Old Testament, eye for an eye, teeth for teeth. In the New Testament, if someone beats you on the right, you beat them on the left. So what should you practice? This one or this one? There is a certain contradiction.
Yeah, big time.
Some people said this is, like making the New Testament is, abrogating the Old Testament. But this would mean that it would be like a law. If I beat you on your right and you don't give me your left instantaneously, I'll call the police. Brother, the brother didn't give me his left hand. I want to beat him and he didn't give him. What is this? So there had to be this balance. Islam gave us the balance. If someone gives you an harm, then you have the right to have revenge and take your right back. But if you tolerate it and forgive them, it will be counted for you as a good deed.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Eye
excellent.
for an eye, teeth for teeth. But this, yeah, this is the balance between
Right.
tolerance and justice. And if we look at history, you know, in the Crusaders, when they entered Palestine, they killed the everyone, and they were swimming in the, you know, the one of the kings was you know, writing to the Pope and happy about it that they were swimming with their animals in the blood of the people. When Salah ad-Din came, he fought them. He didn't accept the humiliation of the Muslims. He didn't accept this. He fought against them,
right,
until he won. But he didn't do this massacres.
Right,
he didn't
exactly.
do this because he was just.
Yeah, exactly.
He was just. He did the justice, and that's why people, you know, many people loved Islam and accepted Islam because they saw the justice in it.
Right.
Not that it is, you know, like according to whatever you
desires
think,
and whims,
and
right.
so on. Exactly. And there's a nice story actually in the German literature of it's written by a famous author called Lessing. It's called Nathan the Wise. Nathan der Weise. Nathan the Wise.
Right.
It was playing in Palestine, speaking about a Muslim leader and a famous Jewish man called Nathan. He was very respected, etc., and very knowledgeable. And he's getting also a Christian living there. And if you look at it, you feel the peacefulness and the tolerance of living, their coexistence together. They are living coexisting, and they are having a dialogue and speaking, and the Muslim is asking the Jew, what do you think about this issue, and
right,
you know, etc. So this shows that even this old literature showing how when the Muslim were, you know, like ruling Palestine, how they were peacefully coexisting with the Jews, with the Christians. Everyone was living happily and peacefully. This is a big contrast to what's happening today in Palestine with the Israeli occupation.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, excellent point. I think, Brother Tal, you made a great point also. People go in the United States, where I'm from, they say Islam is peace, Islam is tolerant, and the Westerners, they know that this is, it's like you've gone too far to compromise. And it's not all tolerance, it's not all extreme, we should be in the middle, inshallah. You guys stay tuned for more Let's Talk. We'll be right back after this short break, so stay tuned.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choose whom He wills subhanahu wa ta'ala for His mercy, for His messengership, for the revelation to be revealed. This is not for the human beings to make that decision. If a person would turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sincerely, truthfully, asking for forgiveness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised to forgive. We have as Muslims a duty, and that is to recite the book of Allah, to ponder over the verses, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to act according to the Quran. The mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encompasses everything, but who would this mercy will be for? And the Prophet ﷺ was sent to all mankind. So the ummah, or the people of the Prophet ﷺ, are all mankind since the time of the Prophet ﷺ till the day of judgment. Why waste our life without getting to know every verse in the Quran, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us?
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to the special German edition of Let's Talk. We're live in Berlin. I'm just joking, we're not live in Berlin, but our two special guests are here with German background. It's a very interesting conversation about tolerance and Islam. Brother Tahir, before the break, Brother Samir had some interesting comments. Would you like to comment on this as well?
I wanted to add something, what the brother said that about the tolerance in Islam. That, for example, if you see the laws, and he brought the example in Palestine and in Andalus, when we see Islam itself, it gives the other religions the rights to take their laws, to judge with their laws. What we don't have right now in Europe or in the US or in any other countries, we don't. They don't give us the right to law, Sharia law.
Yeah.
Yani we cannot make a judge between each other, between Muslims. Yani for example, we have a problem, so we want to take Sharia as our law. No, we have to stick to the German or to the US or to the France. Yeah, they force us to wear not to wear niqab and make problems with
what's
hijab.
the big deal, guys? I thought
so how tolerant we were, yani how tolerant the Muslims were, like when they give them the rights to, if they have a problem, if the Christians have a problem between each other, they don't have to stick to Sharia. Yani they can
deal with themselves.
So
excellent point, Brother Tahir. Yeah, I think in that report it mentioned in Spain, the Muslims gave the Jewish people freedom of rule, freedom of living, freedom of everything, to rule themselves and to govern their own community without being interfered from the outside. What can we say about that, Brother Samir?
Actually, I could say that if the people even in in the Jewish community in Palestine nowadays, there is so much segregation and intolerance between the castes themselves, between the European Jews and those the African Jews,
excellent
point. So on. I think if those people would know, and I think some of them even really know how tolerant Islam is, I think they would prefer a Muslim rule for the state of Israel more than the Zionist rule, because it would be more fair, more tolerant with the Jews themselves than those Zionists themselves.
You know what? That's a great point. I didn't know. I'm glad you mentioned that about the caste system. They treat the Jews from this country better than this country, and they complain about the war and the Nazis. They are worse than Nazis, but anyway, it's another story. Go ahead, brother, in the audience.
Actually, we are talking about the tolerance of Islam, okay? So we have to focus on the tolerance of the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, okay? When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was passed by an old lady, this lady was carrying heavy things, okay? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam helped her and carried the heavy things from her. And then the old lady told the Prophet ﷺ, you are a good man, so I'll give you an advice. Okay, there is someone called Muhammad. You don't believe in him. He is a liar. Don't adhere to
his
religion. Yes. The Prophet ﷺ continued on helping her and carrying the heavy things. Then after finishing, the Prophet ﷺ, do you know that I'm the messenger of Allah? And the old lady says that Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, that the old lady testified that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah.
MashaAllah, yeah, from the tolerance of the Prophet.
Yes,
excellent
thank
point.
you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your comment.
Tolerance of the Islamic leaders. I have another example. What reminded me now, the Salman al-Farisi. There is something like this story. With
this companion,
yeah, like that he was in a market and a stranger came, a visitor of the city, and Salman, he was the leader of the city, or of the I don't know, of the area, right? So Salman al-Farisi, he was the leader of the area, and he was dressed normally. So you can see that this man is like the boss of this country.
Right.
So the visitor, he came and he said to him, "Can you please carry my baggage? I will give you 5 pounds or something like
whatever
that."
the currency was.
So dirham, well, I don't know. So then Salman al-Farisi, he carried his baggage and they went through the market, and the visitor, he remarked that everybody is greeting this Salman al-Farisi with salam alaikum, with respect and so on.
Right.
So he said something is wrong, why they are like...
He's just a baggage handler.
Yeah,
servant.
What happened? Then he said, why they are saying so salam alaikum to you, why they are so nice and good behavior to you, and why this happened. So... who are you?
Right.
Then he explained who he is. He said, "Oh, excuse me very much. Excuse me. I want to carry the baggage." He said, "No, you give me money for this. I will continue
with the service.
I will finish the service. It doesn't matter who I am."
But now
so this is the difference between leaders.
Yeah, right.
Now the current leaders, they have like
Mercedes-Benz and
they have 5-star
hotels, 5 bodyguards.
Bodyguards, yes. But before, the Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was going through the market and
with nobody.
No bodyguard. Right?
Yeah, I agree with you. Go ahead, Brother Samir.
A nice story about tolerance and justice at the same time. We have to always see that we are humans, even the best Muslims do mistakes, but the system and the ideology is the ideology of justice and tolerance. For example, there's a very nice famous story about the son of Amr ibn al-As. Amr ibn al-As was he was the governor of Egypt, and his son was playing with a Christian Egyptian. They were running together, and the Christian won the race. So he was like they are children together. They are children. So the child beat him, and he told him, "Do you win against the honorable people?" And it's just a kid's game.
Right.
The father of this Christian boy took his boy and went the whole way back to Medina to, complain to Umar ibn Khattab, the Khalif there.
Oh, wow.
He went all the way, and the people started making jokes. What is he thinking? He's going to Umar ibn Khattab. What will he do with his governor?
Right.
So he went there. So Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab asked Amr ibn al-As and his son to come extra to Medina, and he gave the stick to the man and told him, and he told Amr ibn al-As he should take off his imama, his head covering, and he told him, beat him and beat his son, because we are not here to make the people as slaves for us. Since when are you taking the free people as slaves? So this is a
great example.
Teaching them tolerance with Christians, not because they are Christians or something like this, Copts, and they are and the Muslims are the leaders. It's not even between children themselves.
Right.
So this shows tolerance and justice.
But it seems like nobody appreciates this history these days. Nobody's talking about this stuff, these good stories. Nobody cares to...
I think nobody wants to know something
like
this from Europe.
Nobody wants to think about it. Nobody wants to...
Maybe some people, they know it, but people who accept it and knows it with human eye, and so they will embrace Islam. It's magic.
Right.
And the uncle of Rasulullah he was called Abu Jahl, but before Islam he was called Abu Hakim. So he was a wise man, the father of the wise man. But he was maybe intelligent, but Rasulullah gave him the name that he is Jahl, that he is not ignorant man, because he didn't accept Islam. So the people they ignore it. Maybe they listen to the story and they doesn't want to
know. Excellent.
But the problem is also, the problem is like that we have no power, no force. The Muslims are weak now.
There's no
it's like Rasulullah in the beginning when he was in Mecca and he started to make his da'wah. He called the people and he was on the mountain and said, I'm a warner, I warn you. When everybody knows, I think, the stories. So this was the first time they listened to him. But after this, they don't listen to him because he has no. Who is he? After this,
excellent point. I think Brother Samir, he's saying when he said, "If do you believe me?" He said, "Yes." If I told you there was an army coming, would you believe me? He said, "Yeah." They said, "Yes." Then he said, "I'm the messenger of Allah." I think he said, "No, we don't believe you." This is what you're talking about, right?
Yes, and I want to add, like, nobody in this time they listened to him, but after this, they didn't care. They
disregarded his comments.
The non-Muslims, but when he entered again to Mecca with power and with his army, they started to be interested. Again to listen. Everybody wanted to know what this man wants to say. So this is the problem. Right now, the problem of us Muslims, our community is weak.
That's
so who wants to listen to the Muslims?
I agree. I understand what you mean. Go ahead, Brother Samir.
Small comment only that Amr ibn Hisham, Abu al-Hakam, was not the uncle. Abu Lahab was the uncle of
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Amr ibn Hisham he was a famous and one of the leaders of Qurayshid. The other thing that the Muslim scholars nowadays, it is like an advice from me that we should preach this tolerance and explain more to the people this tolerance.
Good point.
Because, we were together with a famous imam from Germany. His name is Abu Adam. He is a famous imam in Munich. And people met him here in Cairo and told him, pray against the Jews, make dua against the Jews. He said, may Allah make them hidayah. May Allah gives them Islam.
Right, right.
He said, no, we want you to say that, destroy them. And, you know, like, he said, it is more beneficial for the Islam and Muslims if they accepted the right path. If they come on the right path, it's much better for us than if they are destroyed.
Yeah, that's an excellent point.
So
it's our responsibility,
yeah. So this is, you know, preaching tolerance, preaching and trying, you know, giving advice in the best way that we can. There is a nice way with a lot of respect, like the famous story about Sayyidina al-Hassan and Hussein, the grandsons or sons of the Prophet. They saw this old man not doing the ablution, the wudu properly.
Right.
So instead of going there and saying, oh, your prayer is not counted, you are doing wrong, they said, oh, uncle, come, could you help us? We are not, you know, we want to see who of us is doing the ablution better or properly. And they showed them both how they are doing the ablution properly. He said, oh, my sons, you are doing, I was doing wrong the whole time. You showed me now how the proper ablution about wudu is done. So this is a nice way of nasiha in a very tolerant, easygoing way, in a very nice, respectable way. So this is the way with open, this opens hearts to people. But if you go there and say you are doing this, we should start with the tolerance with our brothers in Islam firstly.
Excellent.
Before we have to be tolerant with other people. You know, if we look at the obeyment, how Allah was, he said to Moses alayhi salam, he said, if you go to Pharaoh, the Pharaoh which he was the worst on earth, تَقُولَ لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا, tell him a very smooth, tell him some smooth words. He was the worst on earth.
And he talked to him nicely,
And talk to him nicely. Tolerance, nicely. If he's speaking to the worst on earth, how about our fellow Muslims?
Exactly right.
Because they are having a different mazhab, different opinion. We have to be tolerant.
This is the problem with the Muslims.
Yeah, we start with tolerance between each other. This is the first thing. Then to be tolerant with all non-Muslims in a proper way.
Excellent point. I think we have to close the episode on that point. I just want to make a point. In the United States, sometimes the Muslims were mean to each other and were nice to non-Muslims. Wait a minute, shouldn't it be the reverse?
Exactly.
Thank you, Brother Tom, for joining us. And thank you, Brother Samir. Brother Suleiman, I know you had a question, but we're out of time. But I want you to join me for another episode of Let's Talk. We're going to do another special. We're going to bring these guys back. We're going to talk about Dawah in Deutschland. We're going to talk about German stuff and Islam in Germany, you guys. So you guys, I just want to thank you for coming. Of course, you want to read the emails before we go anywhere. We have Sister Amina from Finland, mashallah. She says, I am Sister Amina from Finland, but I'm living in Bahrain. She says, I like watching your Let's Talk show about Syria, and I wanted to thank you for that. Thank you very much, sister. We appreciate that, and we were very happy that you liked that episode. She says, my special thanks to the host of this program, Brother Malik, and always there with his great knowledge, of course, Dr. Muhammad Salah. Thank you very much for your email, Sister Amina from Finland. And you guys don't forget to give us an email at talk@huda.tv. So until next time, we leave you in the care of Allah. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're treading seems all uphill, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're treading seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the dips are high, and you want to smile but have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but do not ever quit. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the clouds of doubt. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the clouds of doubt.
This time.
Yeah, of course. Excellent.
And you know, like if we look at that, you know, like the first Muslims, to whom was the Islam sent? It was sent to very primitive people. The Arabic Peninsula was, you know, those
Underdeveloped.
underdeveloped.
If not developed at all, we could say.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. There was no meaning of tolerance. There was no meaning of, you know, like humanity. They were so primitive, like, you know, less than animals.
Yeah, with all due respect, there was a great civilization in Rome, in Persia, in Greece.
Exactly.
But we could say the Arabs in the middle there in the Gulf were not developed culturally.
Exactly.
And
okay. When Islam came, they developed in so little time to the highest culture on earth. They became much higher than the Roman and Persian Empire, and even conquered them.
Yes,
because of those principles.
Right.
Because they loved each other. Because they really stuck to the principles that God gave them.
SubhanAllah.
And SubhanAllah, this shows how strong this Islamic culture is and how its effect is. So, if, you know, many people, you know, like at that time, were attacking Islam because they were afraid of its dominance. The idol worshippers, the unbelievers, came to the Prophet ﷺ.
Best of the best when it comes to guests, and today is no different. We have a European activist all the way here from Berlin, Germany. And I thought this was a special time and a special person and a unique individual who has been well-traveled, speaks many languages. And I wanted to talk about a serious topic which I think has been addressed in the media in the wrong way. I want to talk about tolerance. I think it's quite ironic these days that we hear the Western world lecturing Islam and Muslims about being tolerant and to accept people from other religions and cultures. But I think actually if we compare track records, I think we have the better track record. Joining me, of course, is our European activist, Mr. Samir. Mr. Samir, my Arabic is very bad and I can't pronounce your last name.
My name is Samir Khalafawy, yes.
Thank you very much, Samir. Don't blame me. Let's blame my Arabic teacher, inshallah.
No problem.
Brother Samir, I'm very happy to have you. I think you're a very unique and interesting character. And
My pleasure.
How many languages do you speak, Samir?
I speak 4 languages, 3 of them properly, and French is a little. I speak Arabic, English, German. Arabic and German mother tongue for me. The French is just, you know, the basics.
Oh, okay. So I think you have a unique perspective that we can look at. You can see Islam from a more, I guess, traditional Middle Eastern conservative perspective, and also from the Western perspective. So I look forward to picking your brain and talking with you about that.
Sure, sure. You know, it is really interesting to have those different perspectives and dealing with Islam in a different way. Because on one hand, so I started talking, and alhamdulillah, I have, you know, some experience really with explaining things about Islam in Germany, in England, etc. So I started, you know, like speaking about the angles of Islam. That Islam, on one hand, is dealing with the mind.
Right.
You know, every religion has its special characteristic.
Right.
You know, like the Jewish religion had mainly a law. It was, you know, like the Torah.
Just law.
Mainly law. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, etc.
Right.
Because the people of that time needed a strong law to govern their affairs.
Okay.
When the Christianity came, the Bible came with a lot of love. Love your neighbor like yourself, and if someone beats you on the right, give him the left, etc. So it was mainly love and spirituality.
The other extreme.
Yeah, the other extreme. Islam came with the balance.
MashaAllah.
The balance between, we have the law, we have the spirituality, and at the same time we are talking to the mind.
Exactly, that's an excellent point.
Yeah, and the main character of Islam, as much as I see, is knowledge, logic, science. The first word revealed, Iqra, read.
Right.
Because this is the character of, alhamdulillah, I've been brought up as a Muslim, and I learned Islam and the basics of Islam, Quran and Sunnah. And I start dealing with Islam in a logic and interactive way in the light of modern societies and modern you know, science.
Right.
So it's you know, alhamdulillah, it's giving you strength, really strength of iman.
Right.
If you look at it in these different perspectives and see how rich this you know, Islamic culture is.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And if we talk, for example, about this topic of tolerance, actually, you know, I was invited. I was in England doing my master's degree, and you know, like I was doing, you know, attending the circles and attending the talks, etc. And one day there was a talk. I was going to this talk, and they told me, "Oh, brother, the person coming giving the talk didn't come."
Right.
I said, "So what will you do?" He said, "Oh, brother Samir, you give us a talk."
MashaAllah, very good.
Yeah, subhanallah. I told them, I didn't prepare anything. You know, he said, "Okay, brother, you have some knowledge. Inshallah. Go ahead, go ahead." Okay, I said, okay. The topic was about why Islam is spreading so fast in the West. This was the topic.
This was the topic.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but do not ever quit. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the clouds of doubt.
Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to another exciting edition of your favorite program, Let's Talk. Let's stop playing around. This has to be your favorite program, Let's Talk. Of course, I have to be your favorite host, Malik. Of course, without doubt, on your favorite channel, Huda TV. And I'm thinking about changing the name of this program to Real Talk, because we're talking about some really interesting topics with some really interesting guests. And listen up, you guys at home, and ladies as well. It's a special episode. I got a brand new suit. My wife bought me this brand new suit. I even brushed my teeth, so it has to be a special episode. And I also want to mention today, you guys, I know we don't celebrate birthdays, but I did want to mention, actually, by the grace of Allah, today is my birthday, and you wouldn't believe how old I am. I actually turned 30 years old, so we want to say alhamdulillah for that, and we're very thankful for another happy year on the earth. Now, you guys, we're still committed to bringing you the